From the longest road on Earth to the most deadly, these are 10 of the most dangerous roads in the world. Number 10. The Trans-Siberian Highway, Russia. The Trans-Siberian Highway is a 7,000-mile network of long highways that spans the width of Russia from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. It's one of the longest roads in the world, which passes through some of the toughest terrain and environments. The road crosses forests, lakes, tundra, and vast stretches of land with little to see. It should never be traveled alone and can take 2 to 5 months to complete. Some stretches are unpaved, extremely remote, and are in areas with excessive accidents. Maintaining such a huge road is nearly impossible, so they don't. Heavy rain and severe winters make it hard to navigate. If you drive from St. Petersburg to Vladivostok, make sure you come prepared for the worst. Number 9. The Karakorum Highway, China and Pakistan. The Karakorum Highway is an 810-mile national highway which extends from Pakistan into China. This important Silk Road is often called the eighth wonder of the world and is considered a road to paradise, with views of colossal mountains and huge contrasting landscapes. It's a popular tourist attraction and one of the highest paved roads in the world, passing through 3 great mountain ranges: the Himalayas, the Karakoram, and the Hindu Kush at an elevation of 15,466 feet. Built to link the two countries together, it took over 27 years to build and was completed in 1979. 810 Pakistani and 82 Chinese workers lost their lives building the highway, mainly due to landslides and falls. This road contains some of the scariest hairpin curves and dangerous drop-offs in the world, and completely lacks a barrier on one side with a sheer rock wall on the other. Heavy snowfalls, floods, avalanches, and landslides often occur. It's extremely treacherous terrain. Drivers regularly crash or fall off the road. Just 2 years ago, a bus with 18 aboard plunged off the edge into a ravine, killing all but 1 passenger. Number 8. The Sichuan-Tibet Highway, China. The Sichuan-Tibet Highway is a winding route that runs through some of the most stunning countryside in China and Tibet. Built in the 1950s, this road was constructed to liberate Tibet. More than 3,000 died while constructing the road due to the steep terrain. Considered to be the most beautiful scenic route to Tibet, this 1,331-mile journey traverses 14 tall mountains, dozens of rivers, lush green valleys, and a primeval forest. Tourists call this a photographer's paradise, passing through small, peaceful Tibetan towns, glaciers, holy lakes, and remote monasteries with breathtaking views. This picture-perfect beauty comes with a steep price tag. The road makes 99 harrowing switchbacks, has regular landslides from cliffs, dangerous bridges to cross, steep altitude changes, and extreme weather including rain and ice. Over 7,500 people have died on this risky road due to rock slides, avalanches, and other weather conditions. Number 7. The Fairy Meadows Road, Pakistan. The Fairy Meadows Road is a 10-mile highway located in the gorgeous mountains of the Gilgit-Baltistan region of Pakistan. It has a treacherously high altitude with unstable and narrow roads. Its unmaintained gravel road without guardrails is so narrow that some parts can only be passed on foot or bicycle. The most dangerous part of the road is a narrow 6-mile ascent where many vehicles fall off the cliff to a fiery death. The gravel road has not undergone any repair since it was originally built hundreds of years ago. The road was hacked out of the barren hills by locals and is a private toll road. Words can't describe the experience of driving Fairy Meadows Road, and pictures don't do it justice. It's a stunning place for photographers, adventure seekers, and nature lovers. Number 6. The PanAmerican Highway in North and South America. The PanAmerican Highway is known as the longest road on Earth. It starts in Alaska and runs through the tip of Argentina, traveling through 14 countries. For those adventurous enough to take the 19,000-mile journey, a once-in-a-lifetime experience awaits. Although it could be completed in approximately 3 months, the trip often takes a year and a half, as travelers take detours to see other attractions and avoid extreme weather conditions. Adventure seekers can often encounter Colombian cartels and armed robbers, so caution is strongly advised. Other dangers include dense jungles, arid deserts, glaciers, and indigenous tribes. The road itself also has steep drop-offs, livestock in the road, a 60-mile gap that requires a ferry ride, and impassable sections during the wet season. Number 5. The Kabul-Jalalabad Highway, Afghanistan. The Afghanistan Kabul-Jalalabad Highway is a 40-mile stretch of road that snakes through Taliban territory. However, it's not the threat of terrorism that makes this road dangerous. It's the narrow, winding, steep climb through the Kabul Gorge. This section of the A01 National Highway links Kabul and Jalalabad, Afghanistan. The two-lane highway runs along cliffs that are nearly 2,000 feet high, passing through extremely mountainous terrain. Fatal traffic accidents occur regularly, mostly due to reckless driving. The road is critical for trade, reconstruction efforts, humanitarian aid, and the return of Afghan refugees. However, the asphalt has deteriorated over the past 50 years into a gravel road, making the journey torturous. It was almost destroyed in the 1980s during the insurrection against the Soviet invasion. Over the following decade, as the Taliban and armed groups fought to control the country, the highway was blasted, making craters so that large taxis would disappear for minutes at a time until they struggled to climb out. Today, cars drive faster on this road than would ever be allowed on a comparable road in the West. Massive tractor-trailers that travel the road are often overloaded by thousands of pounds, climbing so slowly that some get stuck, fall back, or fall over, triggering large chains of cars to crash. Number 4. The James Dalton Highway, Alaska. The James Dalton Highway in Alaska is a 414-mile road that runs through some of Alaska's most remote wilderness. This highway is one of the most isolated roads in the United States. It was built to transport supplies to support oil exploration in 1974 and runs parallel to the Trans-Alaska Pipeline system. Much of this route is completely bare with just 3 towns on the way and a total population of 62 people. There is one stretch without any services of any kind for over 240 miles straight. The road itself is gravel and mud, extremely cold with temperatures as low as -82 degrees, has zero visibility, enormous potholes, flooding or icy conditions, and hardly anyone else traveling on it. Small cars and motorcycles are highly discouraged from traveling on James Dalton Highway, as crashes by these vehicles are extremely common. When someone has the misfortune of crashing here, if they're lucky enough to find cell phone service, they'll have to wait for an extremely slow emergency response. Number 3. The Guiliang Tunnel, China. The Guiliang Tunnel is one of the most famous tunnels in the world. It's located in China's Taihang Mountains in the Henan province and is 3/4 of a mile long, 16 feet tall, and 13 feet wide. The Guiliang village was named after a fugitive rebel during the Han Dynasty who fought an overwhelming imperial force using the extreme local terrain. The tunnel provided access to the nearby village, which was previously cut off from outside civilization. 13 of the local villagers dug the tunnel into the side of the mountain in the 1970s. As they did not have access to power tools, they built it by hand using hammers and chisels, taking 5 years to complete. One of the builders died during the construction of what became known as the Sky Ladder. Nowadays, the tunnel is a beautiful scenic route and key tourist destination. There are over 30 windows of various shapes and sizes overlooking the valley. Although strikingly beautiful, this tunnel is also extremely dangerous due to its small size, open edges over the rocky precipice, and is especially difficult during dark or wet conditions. Many drivers have met their end here. This tunnel does not tolerate any mistakes. Number 2. BR116 Brazil. BR116 in Brazil is a merciless 2,700-mile stretch of highway along the coast known as the Highway to Hell and the Highway of Death. It's the second longest highway in the country, an industrial artery that runs from north to south, which brings critical supplies to Brazil's wealthiest cities. Thousands die here each year. Accidents are caused on this road due to unstable weather conditions, the winding design with steep cliffs, inconsistent terrain, gangs and armed bandits, and the extremely high concentration of big rigs. It also is the most active road in the world for the sexual exploitation of children, according to UNICEF. The road passes through many poverty-stricken towns where children as young as 9 are forced into prostitution to feed their families. Some are kidnapped and taken to brothels operated by drug gangs hundreds of miles from their home. There are more than 262 places along the road where children are known to be sold for sex. This critical problem is ignored and covered up by police officers, businessmen, and government officials. Number 1. North Yungas, Bolivia. The North Yungas Road has earned the name Death Road for a multitude of reasons. This 43-mile stretch of road through the Cordillera Oriental mountain chain was cut in the 1930s by Paraguayan prisoners during a violent war with Brazil. It climbs to 15,260 feet above sea level at La Cumbre Pass. As you begin the downward stretch towards the Amazon rainforest, you will see a 2,000-foot drop when looking to the side. Driving on this road is extremely dangerous due to fog, constant rain, cascades, landslides, the lack of guardrails, limited visibility, and the fact that the entire route is rarely wider than the width of a single car lane. Nearly 300 drivers were killed here every year until 1994, as could be seen by the many memorials along the way. In 1983, a bus full of people crashed over the edge, killing more than 100. Yungas Road connects La Paz, Bolivia's capital, to the town of Karakorum in the Amazon. For many years, merchants would squeeze into trucks and buses to try to sell their wood and crops in the capital. However, the sharp, narrow turns weren't large enough for every vehicle, and many trucks went over the edge. In 2009, a new highway with 2 lanes was constructed, and fatalities have dropped significantly since. However, many locals still use Death Road as a shortcut. North Yungas remains popular with bikers, tourists, and adventure enthusiasts. In the last 10 years, more than 13 people have died. Have you ever driven on any of these dangerous roads? Tell us about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. New videos are posted every week. Until next time, thanks for watching Best Top 5s.